Thank you so much for having me with you. I have been really honored to meet you. I spent time with some of you last night and again this morning. I'm curious, if you are a family member, could you raise your hand? Okay. And if you're a patient, could you raise your hand? I mean, I know it seems like I should be able to figure this out. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. Did you know that there are 60 million, at least, individuals in the U.S. who care for a family member? Yeah. When I think about that, I think about all of us caring for a family member who might have a different disease process, a different age when they've been diagnosed, a different interruption in their life and their day, and it can seem like we don't really have anything in common. But I think we're all hoping for good days. When there's a diagnosis, it can seem like it's just bad days. And we're searching for good days, and how do we find them? So I'm going to share a couple tips for you. And the tips come from my work with family caregivers. I started working with family caregivers in 1990. I'm a writer, and the first story I heard from a family member who cares for an individual with a chronic illness just really touched me as a writer. And so I've been listening to stories ever since. So what I've learned is that we can start over anytime. So a day might start out bad, but it doesn't have to finish bad. Do you know the term mulligan? And what I love about that term is we can give ourselves a mulligan as many times as we need. Mulligans don't run out. We can give the day another chance. We can give each other another chance. We can give ourselves another chance. And what I love about giving ourselves a mulligan is that it wipes the slate clean. There is something that we have to do, I think, when we give ourselves a mulligan, and I'm wondering if you know what that is. If we're having a bad day and we want to start over, what could we do next? Forgive ourselves. And without guilt, absolutely. Absolutely. I think our bad day feels like it's something that we created. And so we think, oh my gosh, I've got to carry this bad day. But we can forgive ourselves for a bad day that comes from maybe bad words. Maybe we're upset with each other or upset about the day. Could be because we just feel like nothing is going right. And we're looking so hard for something to go right. And it feels so elusive. So we get discouraged. And that turns into a bad day. We can forgive the disease, we can forgive ourselves, we can forgive each other, we can forgive our faith, whatever it is that seems to stop the good day and replace it with a bad day. From forgiveness, we can start over. I'm wondering if it feels personal to you. When I think about it, I think about life. So I started the presentation with a number. 60 million individuals care for a family member. When you're one of those 60 million, it feels like just you. Let's do a little math. If there are 60 million, each caring for 2 or 3 family members, how many patients might we have in the United States? Almost, did I do it right, 200 million if we do 3 times 60? But if you are one, it feels like it's just you. So the challenge is to not take it personally. If you take it personally, it's easy to move into self-pity. And when you are in self-pity, you stay in pain. You stay disconnected from solutions, from support, really and truly from a better day. Self-pity in short spurts feels great, right? It feels good to sit on the couch, eat that carton of ice cream, and just feel it. But if you are always on the couch, eating that carton of ice cream, you are missing life. Self-pity will keep you on the couch. When you decide not to take it personally, you get off the couch. You come here. You connect with others. You have an opportunity to share and support. When you show up, you give someone else hope. Isn't that amazing? And what greater purpose in life could there be than to give another, during a difficult time, hope? I think it's interesting to hear that talking and singing can help. So my next tip is to communicate. I'm curious if anybody does sing, anybody part of a choir? Okay, there's a few of you. Okay, excellent. There was a segment on CBS Sunday Morning a few months ago about a choir that started from family members who had lost another family member. And what I mean lost is that truly a family member left the house and never returned. And there was one, a father, who had a 14-year-old son who I think went to school and never returned home. And so he had been looking for his son for decades. And he connected to his purpose through this choir. And I want to say this kindly, and I think he would agree, he had a terrible voice. But when he sang with others from a place of pain that gives hope, he sang beautifully. Communication is something that we overlook because we think people can read our minds, but I've never really met a mind reader. So when we communicate, when we sing, when we say, we can tell others what we need. And I think something that we forget to ask for on a regular basis is time. When you have a diagnosis, all of a sudden there's all these decisions that you both have to make. And it seems like it's not just one decision, but it's one decision and then 20 more are waiting for you. And the impact of those decisions can be significant, which is why you feel like, oh my gosh, this is hard. Take your time. Ask for time. Give each other time. And I also think sometimes we just need quiet. And it could be quiet from talking about a disease or a change. And it could be connecting back to the noise of life, living. Sometimes we need good company, like you guys are for each other, right? You're good company. And sometimes we need feedback. We just need to ask, what do you think? What if? How about? I remind myself of this one regularly, which is sometimes you need to sleep on it before you say it. And it could be that you're having a difficult day and you're lacking patience and you want to just say something. And sometimes it's better to just say, you know what, I'm going to sleep on it and maybe I'll say it tomorrow. But oftentimes, what seems so significant today is really insignificant tomorrow. And isn't it great when we give ourselves an opportunity to see the difference between significant and insignificant? Say what's a priority. Priority might be safety, independence, an opportunity, a chance, a relationship, an experiment. Let's just try it and see what happens. When you have a priority, make sure others know what it is too. What's your priority? And then how are you going to tell others in your life what it is? And then say what you feel and say how you feel. I feel discouraged. I feel like I'm not sure what to do next. And if you hear those words, just sit with them. The hardest part when you hear someone talk about feeling discouraged is to feel like I can't take that discouragement away. And we want to rush in and fix. When you are feeling discouraged, you want someone to sit next to you. And here's what you can do. Hold their hand. There was a study that was done, actually, of women in labor, and their pain lessened when their partner held their hand. When you're not sure what to do, hold hands. It could be a ritual that you add into your day to just sit and hold hands. There's no greater help that you can offer than someone reaching out and holding someone's hand when they're in pain. What do you love? How do you love? Let others know that as well. Here's what's interesting. When you have a diagnosis in the family, it feels like you've lost a lot. But what you keep is your heart, your words, your smile. You can't lose those. They stay with you always. And I leave you with this thought. Because we keep those things, we are hope. And when you think about a better day, know that you are your own good days, that you have the power to change a day with a smile, a kind word, a loving gesture. A disease process never takes that away. You all are hope for each other, with each other. Hold it. Take care of it. Share it. Thank you all.